Now, how do we steer young people away from guns and knives? Well, a group of people in Gravesend think they have part of the solution. They're using the power of music to spread a message of peace and are about to start work on an album. Some of them have seen the violence for themselves. Ed Cook has been to meet them.
Hi, I'm Spinal.
It's your boy Ice.
I'm Trier.
Hi, I'm The Gift, and this is Unique.
All I want to do is give a good message to the people. You can either go the wrong way, pick up the gun and go on the street, or you can do something else.
Just in case you start believing that you lost your faith, just remember you got no time to waste.
I'm The Gift, and I do most of the singing for Unique. I was born and raised in South East London, and there's a lot of gangs around then. And I was involved in a few gang situations myself, in which I won't go into detail, but I'll just let you know I've done a few things which I definitely wouldn't have done if I had the right frame of mind.
Where are we going wrong at the moment? If we are going wrong, are we doing enough to sort of stop kids getting involved in gun and knife crime?
I think there's a lot of things going wrong, because I think there's a lot of problems at home. There's lack of communication between the kids and their parents. And I think there's a lot of lack of communication between the government and parents, and also with the local authorities and the whole community. There's breakdown in communications everywhere, and we need to start definitely somewhere, and I'd say at least with the youngsters, because they're the children of the future.
I just wanna be left on my own. My girl keeps asking me what's wrong with me right now.
I know obviously you haven't got any money, so you've had to do what you can. What is this? Tell me what this is.
You see here, if people could see this, this is probably really funny to see, but if I just explain to you, it's copper wires. Basically, Slick is our gas man, and he's basically just got a couple of copper wires together and...
You've slung a pair of women's tights on the top, and that's a pop shield, so that stops interference on the mic, doesn't it? Or the popping sound on the mic, doesn't it?
Basically, when you say pop, then it just comes out smooth.
Clear sound, yeah?
And all the hisses as well.
You're away from some of the heart of the problems, the inner city problems of gang violence. You're in a place like Gravesend. Does that help the creative process, or is it better to be in the thick of it so you know what's going on?
You get time to clear your head, you can think straight, and you just get on with whatever you've got to get on with, because you've got the time and the space.
It is a good thing to be in an area where you don't have that much violence around you all the time, but I think it is getting really, really stressy down these ends as well.
We'll just use the time that we've got for now while we can, because I know for a fact the violence and the gangs are coming towards this area, and they will be here quite soon, because I've seen quite a few faces around.
I'm actually taking this quite seriously because of what's going on around the country, around the world, really. It's the youth, really, innit, that I'm really focusing on trying to get my message across to.
Ed Cook with that report. Now, Dan Atkins is the managing director of the charity Intensify Youth, which is supporting Unique. Dan, very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you guys.
I admire people tremendously who turn their lives around, but it's a bit credulous, isn't it, to suggest that cutting a record is going to change the world?
Well, I think young people at the moment are going through very tumultuous times, and I believe that they do need some almost inspiration to change themselves, their lives, and almost their outlook on life, you know.
But we seem to offer only two aspirations to young people who've got in trouble. It either seems to be go into the music world or go into a boxing club and take your aggression out there. Shouldn't we be offering them more aspirational opportunities than those two?
Yeah, well, see, obviously young people need all the opportunities, chances, help, support that they can get. But most importantly, we at Intensify Youth believe that they need positive role models to look up to. And, if you look around, probably the vast majority of these people that are struggling are without a male role model in their lives, you know. So it's very difficult for them to grow up aspiring really to much.
So who would you point out as some of the greatest role models that these young people, you deal with them on a daily basis? Who do you say to them, look at this person, you could be like that? Who do you think are the great role models for young people in society today?
Well, see, that's the thing, if you look throughout the media, You've just got all the grime artists and all that kind of stuff. You got Jordan, who's, not the most positive role model. And then the footballers, they're running around screaming and yelling and kicking and fighting on the TV week in, week out. So really, there's not a hell of a lot for them to look up to. And we think that's half the problem,
Okay, Dan, thank you for your time this morning. Dan Atkins, the Managing Director of Intensify Youth. What do you think, John? I do feel that I've heard before this message that youngsters get into music, and I wonder if a record has ever really turned somebody around.
I think their time is better spent, in my view, is going into schools, talking to young people and telling them, I used to carry a knife, I got in trouble, it's not worth it, this is what happens to you, there are better things to do. Then get onto the music bit, then say, like, I've got into the music business or I'm making a record. But I think that message, if it comes from their peers, it will be a stronger message, and the message is, don't carry a knife. That's, I think, would be a...
Listening to